and this is a video review of the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Voyager class Soundblaster. So I've been wanting this figure for a long time. I know he's been released a few times before, but it was really expensive and I couldn't pick him up. But when I heard that Takara is gonna release a version of him, I had to pre-order, make sure I got him, and yeah, here he is. So he is a Takara figure. Basically, it's the same figure that was released before, only with the change being the chest. So we'll go through that later on. But yeah, taking a closer look at the packaging, here's your standard Siege packaging. The 35th anniversary logo there, 1984 to 2019, although he was released in 2021. On this side, a nice image of Soundblaster. At the back is Soundblaster in robot and vehicle mode, 25 steps, all your Japanese text. He is figure number War for Cybertron S63. It also says SGEX. I don't know what that means. So yeah, inside you will find this set of instructions, which, you know, if you want to see the difference between the previous release and this release, is just this chest deco. So the old one had a lot of battle damage and the Decepticon symbol. This one has the chest a la the War for Cybertron cartoon. So if you haven't watched that, he did appear there, and his insignia is the mercenary insignia. But let's go back and look at this set of instructions. 35 years of Transformers. It's basically the same set of instructions as you got from the previous one. So it even has that weird gun mode. So let's look at the guns. Since this is a Siege, and this is basically what Siege's gimmick is. So if you look at this one, it does have 3 guns. The first one is your M2 EMXT. So it does look like a pretty decent pistol, but it does open up and forms that. If you haven't watched my other video, I'll try to link it here. This is my favorite Siege accessory because you can attach a lot of things to this. So you can make it like a make it look like a hammer. If you have side swipe, you attach that, make it look like a spear. You just, so if you have this guy, right, smash down, you can attach it there, make it look like a decent warhammer, right? Tyraxodon, the Lionizer. There's a lot of play value on this one. Other weapons, you have his shoulder cannon, which is the M2 high KEP. That's it. And then, oh sorry, this one is the M2 high KEP. And then his shoulder cannon is your M2 LRHD. And the instructions, just because the instructions shows us that, you can actually combine these 3 by just plugging that in there and plugging it that in there, and he does hold it pretty well. And you can pose it like this. It's a bit daft, to be honest, but I mean, you can make it look good. So something like that, like a sniper slingshot kind of thing, right? Now, just to compare him with the original mold, so here he is with the original Soundwave. As you can see there, almost the exact same figure, the only difference being the chest, and you won't even see it until we go from the sides. As you can see, he has the bigger chest, and that's because it carries over from the original Soundblaster from G1. So the original Soundblaster G1 had this wider chest, and that is because he has capacity for actually 2 2 cassettes inside. So I'll just try and pull it out. So the problem here is that the chest cavity in the cassettes, there's little clearance. So if you put something like I don't know, Rat Bat or Frenzy or Rumble, you're gonna have a hard time taking it out. I usually just put Laserbeak on this one just because one, Laserbeak doesn't have an insignia, and it looked weird to have a Decepticon insignia cassette with the mercenary insignia robot. So this one looks good. And the second reason is I actually pull out the feet and pull it out. If I had put something like Rat Bat or a Rumble there, I'll have a hard time taking it out. I compared to this one, you can only have space for 1 cassette, right? Now other differences are basically the light piping is red on this one while it's yellow here. So yellow just because the G1 had a yellow light piping. And then taking a closer look at the deco, I like the more War for Cybertron inspired chest deco on this one. So it's almost like a Netflix figure in that regard, but then everything else is the same. I like the more muted battle damage. He does still have battle damage on the legs, but it's a lot more muted. I don't know, it's because of the black base paint, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, this one is good, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot more pronounced. This one is a bit more muted, although if you look at it closely, right, they're actually the same layout. So I'm guessing it's just the paint. It's the exact same layout of the battle damage. So yeah, really nice. I love the red highlights there as well. So while this one has black, this one is more pronounced with the red, so I really like it. I don't know how I feel about the red butt cavity there, but yeah, what can you do? So really nicely done. Now this figure, I don't know if you know, but this figure was the first figure that I've released as a reviewer for a long time. I mean, the last time I reviewed was like 10 years ago. Then I recently just restarted with War for Cybertron, and this was the first figure that I released, and I was actually the first reviewer who posted a video on this guy. So this mold is always gonna have a place in my heart, and this version of the mold I think is the quintessential one. Now just because I have the Netflix cassette transforming one, here he is with that guy, just to see how they look. I haven't posted a review of this one, so I think I need to spend time in backtracking just to, you know, make sure I have a review done. So these are these 3 together. So if you're gonna keep just 2, then maybe just keep this one and this one. Makes sense for Soundwave to have a cassette mode, and makes sense for Soundblaster, if you go by the Netflix storyline, to have a spaceship alt mode. I'm always gonna keep this one just because of, you know, sentimental reasons. Now, just because I have the G1 here he is with the G1. Now this is the G1 reissue of Soundwave with the flat chest. I don't have the Soundblaster, but you know, just to see how they look. I haven't reviewed this one as well, but I really like how this one look, and how, you know, they are sized pretty much about the same height. Oh yeah, tells a big story about how well this original one was designed in the first place. Okay, so let's transform him. It's been a while since I transformed this guy. Now first thing, I check the instructions, I check the box. He doesn't have a lamppost mode, but of course you can do the lamppost mode if you wanted to, just because they're the exact same figure, right? But we'll skip that lamppost mode for this review. Let's transform him to vehicle mode. First things first, just unpeg the arms, unpeg the back. It's been a while since I transformed this, but I'm sure I know how to do it still. Flip the head in. You do need to flip this one up. That's it. And then we flip this over. There you go. Now let's do the legs. For the legs, he is on a double hinge, as you can see. Just flip that out. Now this is a detail that let's do that later. I'll show you that one, but let's do the feet first. For the feet, there is this seam here. Flip that out on that seam, flip the feet in, do that, do the same here. Now this panel is a bit loose, but I don't really mind, just because when you transform it will stay in place. It's only loose when you actually lift it up, and then when you transform you'll flip it down again, so you know it won't be any major headache or something. Now flip that in, see how that easily goes out. Peg those two together. Now flip that up on this hinge, and then we peg that to that hole. There you go. And then we peg this there. So this is something I missed with the original. There's actually a peg hole there and some pegs there. I think I missed it just because it got lost in the blue. I didn't see it, but yeah, you can actually peg it together. Lastly, the arms. You flip these down, flip the hands in. When you flip this together, make sure these are both facing in. Oh, sorry. Yeah, flip that down. Flip that down. And then you tap everything together. So that peg will go there, and same on the other side. And these pegs will go on the other side. So make sure they're all pegged in together. And then you flip that over. Now that shoulder piece will be like a sort of pylon or sort of sled there, and these two will be sleds there. There you go. Now this gun, I remember there's an attachment. Yep, so there's that peg. You just attach it there. It's easy peasy. And then these ones can go either way, one on either side. So let's just do this one here. And this other one there. And there you go. There you have Soundwave in his vehicle mode. Again, this is a really nicely done vehicle mode. There's a bit more battle damage on this side, along with the red details, but I don't really mind it. It doesn't actually show. The good thing is it doesn't show in robot mode, just because when you flip this over, it actually hides that. But it does make sense to have that in vehicle mode, just because, you know, it's a spaceship. From the side, still the battle damage. You do see that battle damage in robot mode as well, but it's not as pronounced as the Siege version or the Soundwave version. Really nicely done. It still does have that feature where you press it and flips over, and you can still fit, you know, 2 cassettes there. So really nicely done. This one does stay. If you peg that in all the way, it doesn't flip out. But yeah, really nicely done. I really like this one. So since we're here, let's just transform him back. First thing I do is, you know, flip that over, flip that over, unpeg that, leave that for now. We unpeg from here, flip that down, peg that again. We unpeg these parts and cover the battle damage. Split the legs, forward, flip that over, feet out, flip that, feet out, Almost done. You take the top part, unpeg it, move it to the back. Let's remove this gun. Remove this. Make sure to support this while pulling, because this does have the tendency to pop out. You can just pop it in anyway. Now these ones, you do that, you can peg it there. So as you can see, there's pegs and got holes there. So just peg that there. Flip the head up. Now before you close that up, just flip this down. Peg that back in. And then just accordion this up. So you close that and then accordion this bit down. And then you just flip the hands out. Orient them properly. And there you have Soundblaster back in his robot mode. Now you take the shoulder pylon or cannon, put that back there. Take that out. Oh, let's do something. Flip the gun. Turn it to a hammer. And make him our blacksmith Soundblaster. I think that works well. Differentiates him from the other sound waves. Again, let's put the three here side by side. Okay, so final thoughts. I mean, he's Soundblaster. If you miss him out in the first release, he's worth picking it up. I mean, if you're not really interested in the Soundblaster character and just, you're just interested in Soundwave, then maybe just try to find the Netflix one and then you're done. If you already have the Siege one, there's not much difference really in terms of the mode, but he's a distinct character, and he's even in the the Netflix show, he is a distinct character from Soundwave. So if you're going for that, then it's probably worth getting this. For the rest of you, maybe the Netflix one is your the all and all Soundwave, and that's not bad. This one is a great figure anyway. So yeah, that's been the review. If you like that review, please do leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. As always, this has been Grimtrigger, and this has been the awesome Siege Generation Stuff. Was it Generation? Yes, Siege Takara Tomy Soundblaster. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.